Hi,
Hi, how are you, James?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Yeah,
Just for the record, will you just tell us your name and what you do?
thank you so much. Yes, my name is Irene Eboy. You may as well call me Irene Chemaiyek. I serve with the Oasis Community Network in the capacity of programs coordination.
Nice. Did I say your nickname?
Don't.
Okay. Now, we're just doing an episode on getting to understand OCN better, and I will love us to make it kind of personal to you as a person. So maybe we'll start by knowing how you, as an individual, understand the vision of Oasis and how you take it. Yeah.
Thank you, James, for that question. So for me, I look at the vision of Oasis Community Network as one, it's a timely vision because it's coming like like a wake up call to all of us who are born again Christian, just to help us know that there are people out here who still have not heard about the gospel. And also, like, it's our responsibility to get out to them and share the gospel with them. So for me, the vision of OCN is actually personal to me because it challenges me as a Christian to live out my faith and to help the other person to also know Christ.
Well, now in that particular place, can you maybe give us an example of how this vision has affected any personal decisions or decisions basically even in the organization as a team uh, player and how you make those decisions? Can you explain how that vision has brought into that?
Thank you so much, James. Personally, I've been in faith for quite some time. And I was sharing this, I think, with the director or someone else. And I was telling them until when I joined Oasis Community Network, I remember my purpose. I am in the ministry. I mean, it is all in one basket. And that makes me so, so, so satisfied.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Now, basically, you say that you work with several teams, and personally, I think after I joined, you were kind of team lead. I've not really heard that term at Oasis Community Network, but you handle that as a part of the organization. So, how do you handle your team in terms of aligning them to actually get to understand the vision and the purpose of Oasis Community Network in the current society?
Thank you, James. Like I keep telling every new team that joins Oasis Community Network. At Oasis, we do not just believe that people join this organization just because they look for jobs and got jobs. We believe that everybody that is on board has a specific role and purpose that God has sent them here to do. And so my work is just to facilitate these team members to live out their purposes in the organization. Like, we provide a platform for them to connect with the reason as to why God has called them here, and then just facilitate them in serving God in that particular line. Yeah.
Well, personally, let me say this from a very personal point of view. But since I came here, I found this place to be like a family, one huge family with a warmth like I've never really experienced in other organizations. I would really love to know how you have ensured that that actually continues and people come and feel that warmth and family setup. How do you achieve that, which is not achieved in other places and organizations?
Yeah, true. I agree with you that OCN is one huge, closely knit family. And I think this it's trickling down from right at the top. Our leadership from the top is one leadership that is determined to, one, make every staff feel important and appreciated. And that is true. Everybody is unique in their own way. Everyone is important. They deserve respect. They deserve dignity. So for us at OCN, our priority number one is every staff member is treated like the human being that they are. And that one has made each and every one of them want to belong, want to be at work and serving, without having to count even the cost that comes with it.
Yeah. Now, that's actually a very amazing thing because it's something that we don't find in other places. I think we've worked with several organizations, but there's a fulfillment that comes with OCN. And now, on that particular note, are there some impacts that you've seen based on the vision and the alignment that you see according to the organizations? Can you point out some impacts that you've seen in the community And even maybe if you will be willing to share in your own life that has come as living out this vision.
Thank you. I'll start with the impact I have seen in my own life and in the family of my life, in the life of my family. I think we have learned so much matters faith and matters trusting God. I have seen God lift this organization from somewhere down on the ground, and he has made us who we are today as an organization. In a very short period of time, God has helped us to achieve so much. We've grown, we've expanded. And so that has challenged me at a personal level to want to trust this God, to want just to hold on to this God, because I know that he's a God that is able to do only if we are willing to follow him. That is what I have learned as an individual. Now, looking at the few years that I've been in this organization, the Lord has done quite a lot, so much that sometimes we look back and we are amazed of what God has done, because it's beyond our imagination, beyond what we could actually even fathom. Now, we are running different programs. We are running Bible translation programs. We are having a children development program. We are having women empowerment program. We are having trauma healing programs and different programs that we are running across this country. And in each and every program that we are running, there is so much impact that has happened. And I'm just going to mention just a little. In one of the communities that we are doing Bible translation in them, this is a community that is so closed, didn't hear, no one like thought about them. They're not even counted among, other tribes in this country. And in that particular community, I'll just mention it, it's the El Molo community that all of us know, with a lot of stereotypes out here. And when we went there and started the project, Bible translation project, I assure you the El Molo people right now can hear God in their language. We have movement of Christians happening in the El Molo community. And the Church of Christ is growing in that community that was once just neglected and forgotten about. And we thank God for that. Now, when you go down to Tana River, where we are running a women empowerment programs, this is a community where, poverty is the order of the day. But as we are speaking right now, we have women who are able to work with their own hands. They can sew uniforms for their children, they can sew clothes for their neighbors, and they can get money to buy other household needs. I will not even go further. Let me just also touch about the children development program. Oh my, you need to see those children at our center every Friday when they come. They know that place has become home, because they are taught, they play, they take a cup of porridge, they are listened to, and we are growing these children whole round. They're into human beings who are able to operate functionally, emotionally, spiritually, economically, even academically. And that is just part of what God is doing in these communities. I'll not fail to mention about trauma healing. We are working with communities with a long history of marginalization, a long history of oppression. Some of them are suffering because of political, instabilities, or any kind of disturbances in their communities. But with the program of trauma healing, we are actually dealing with the heart wounds for these communities, walking with them through their journey of heart, their journey of pain, and helping them to process the pain, not just for their own healing, but for their neighbors' healing. You'll not imagine the kind of transformation happening in those communities, where long-standing enemies are now able to shake their hands and choose to live in peace. That is just part of what God is doing through Oasis Community Network.
Now, I'm sure as we're looking at all of these positive things, there must be some challenges that we face and that we have to overcome at the end of the day, because life is full of challenges, ups and downs. So what are some of the challenges that we've been facing in these particular regions and areas that at times can bring you down, and how are we working towards overcoming them, or how have they been overcome through what you're doing?
I think I would say we, just like any other organization out here, or just like any other establishment out here, we are not short of challenges. Challenges are there, and there are those that we have overcome by the grace of God. There are those that we are just dealing with them as we move forward, hoping that we'll be able to overcome them. Now, our greatest challenge actually has been, I would call it maybe low capacity, because in the ministry that we are in, it's a vast ministry. It's a huge ministry, and the players are actually few in this ministry. And sometimes another big challenge that we have experienced is that actually many people do not really have an understanding of this kind of ministry, how to approach it, how to go about it. Like little is known out here, and therefore even getting people to support the work, getting people who can say, yes, we understand what you are doing, and therefore we are supporting you to go further. They are very few. So that limitation in terms of resources, limitation in terms of capacity, has to some extent slowed us down. We are not to do as much as we would have loved to do because of that limitation. Now, another challenge also is, when we look at some of these communities out here, they are dealing with other issues, just like beyond not knowing Christ. There are issues of hunger, there are issues of drought, there are issues of lack of education, and many other challenges that affect these communities. So sometimes also they stand in the way of ministry, because how do you preach to someone who has not eaten? How do you preach to someone who is sick, for example, and such kind of things? So some of those have actually been a challenge in the communities. So we have been able to overcome some of them, like the issue of hunger. We have partnered with some other organizations out here who have helped us to have food distribution in some of these communities. We have partnered with others to do medical camps for the community members who do not have hospitals. And so that has come in so handy in complementing what we are doing, so that then it's a holistic kind of approach and not just ministry or salvation in isolation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, the rain is just about, and I'm also sure you're supposed to be headed somewhere. So I'll rush through the few questions that are up next. You mentioned that we work with several teams.
Yeah.
Now, although that is a lot of collaborations and partnerships, can you mention some of the places we've worked with, if it's okay, and partnered with, and how it has actually positively affected the move of OCN in the communities that we're working with?
Okay, so you mean the communities we work with or the partners?
Now, how has the partnerships actually been able to help us reach them? And how do we relate with the partners as well?
Yeah.
So I think I've just put it all suddenly in one question.
Thank you for that question. So let me say this, that I think, okay, it's widely known out here that if you want to go faster, go alone. If you want to go far, then go with somebody. And I think for us, we have lived that here in OCN. I'll give an example. And maybe before that, I'll just mention that we have quite a number of partners that are walking this journey with us, both in the country and some outside the country. We have individual partners who've given their resources, their time to work with us, and we have corporates, we have churches who are supporting our work. Now, I'll just give an example in the community that I just mentioned earlier on, the El Molo community. That is one community that is so far off from where we are. So to get to El Molo, it's like really a hard task to get to that community. So that means if you're in Nairobi, you can't be going to El Molo every other day or every other week. And so what did we do? There's a church, which is our partner in this country, that has a mission station in El Molo, and they have a missionary stationed in that community. So what happened is that we partnered with this church, and then through their missionary on the ground, our teams are supported. So as much as we are here and we're not able to get to them on a daily basis, this partnership here ensures that our team on the ground has the facilities they need to work. They have somebody they can talk to in case of any challenge. They have somewhere to run to in case anything doesn't work out. And that one has really come in handy to ensure that the work down there is happening. If we have any community engagement, any scripture engagement activity, we are working together with that mission station on the ground, and that has really enhanced what we would have done if we were just to be alone operating in El Molo community. That is just one example. But we are partnering with, even in these other communities, we have missionaries in the communities who are like, we are working with them. We would come in, train them, and then they get back to the communities and implement the training and pass on the knowledge, which has really worked out so well in making sure that whatever idea that we have gets down to the communities through the channels and the structures of the missionaries and the pastors. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, so basically, we have understood about the partners and how they have we've worked with them. But what fosters actually what brings it what brings them in? Is it just buying into the vision? What necessarily makes them be pulled to OCN?
They are pulled to OCN because of the vision.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned earlier on, our vision is very unique.
Mhm.
And everywhere we have been to, whenever we share with someone that we are actually in this ministry and this is what we do, everyone is amazed. And so it's natural that everybody would want to associate with something good.
Yeah.
And I think that is why the partners that we have are on board, not because of anything. Actually, we do not have anything to offer to them, but I think they are on board because they see the vision and they want to be part of the vision.
Now, as an organization, or we can begin it, on it from a very personal point. What are you looking forward to as we continue leading out the vision? What are you desiring to see come out of our vision, the mission of OCN as an organization? What do you want to see come out of it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this vision established further, not just in this country, but outside this country. I know and I am convicted that countries out here need what is happening in OCN. And the impact that we are seeing here, the lessons that we are learning here, and just how God is helping us to navigate the terrain of this ministry in this country. This, if it's replicated in other countries, I think it will work so nicely. So I'm really looking forward and I'm hoping that God would allow me to witness the establishment of OCN in other parts of the world so that then people can be able to hear God and just live out their lives as God intended for them.
Amazing. So, what about the organization? What do you think is the aim? I think now this speaks to the organization's vision and mission. Maybe now you could just tell us, as one of us, what's the vision and the mission of the organization, and how is the organization working towards ensuring that that happens?
Yeah, our vision is prosperous and healthy communities, and we do that. We have that vision as it is for a reason. And looking at prosperous and healthy communities, for us, we are looking at a whole round spectrum of a human being. You know, a healthy person, spiritually, physically, emotionally, all that, and prospering in whatever it is that God has called them to do or whatever it is they find themselves to do. Now, our mission is championing sustainable poverty eradication in communities, you know, and that is happening through partnerships at every level. Now, by this, we actually mean that everybody that we get to interact with, either as a staff member, as a partner, community that we are serving with, each one of them has something to bring to the table. So how can we just leverage on what everybody else is coming with to be able to solve some of the problems that we are highlighting in these communities? Now, with that, I think you will agree with me, back to your question, that we have communities all around us in need, you know. And when we talk of poverty, I know sometimes people may think poverty is just lack of money or lack of basic needs. But when you come to OCN, we define poverty in a broader way. Poverty for us, we believe that the cause of poverty is actually broken relationships. Human beings are broken, their relationship with God, their relationship with one another, relationship with self, and even relationship with the environment. That is what is causing poverty. So we are in the business of trying to restore these broken relationships, yeah? And I believe this is needed everywhere around this country. That's why I'm saying we are looking forward to seeing God establish us even beyond the borders of this country.
Amazing. Now, I would love to wind up now because I see time is quite gone. Now, will you have a message maybe to the people who will view this? Will you love to tell them something?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for that opportunity, James. So first, I want to really pass my regards, especially to the visionary of Oasis Community Network, uh, Bwana Jacob Jagi and his dear wife, Dr. Mercy Mauki. I think it's one thing to hear God, and it's another thing to obey and do as God is telling you. And because they did not just hear but went ahead and obeyed, I think that is why we are here today, and we are living the vision of OCN, but in it, we are also fulfilling our purposes and the calling of God over our lives. So we really appreciate the directors and the visionaries of the organization. Now, I also want to really appreciate every staff member of OCN, including you, James, because out of your dedication, your hard work, commitment to this vision, and just going the extra mile to doing what you guys are needed to do, that is why we are here today. And that is how we are pushing and propelling the vision of OCN to greater heights. So thank you, every staff member of OCN. God bless you. And I pray that even as you serve on this vision, may you get the satisfaction that comes with it. Now, I want to also appreciate the partners that have worked with us this journey. It wouldn't be possible to do all this. We wouldn't be able to walk alone. We wouldn't even achieve a quarter of what we have achieved today if we were walking alone. So thank you, every single partner out here, the individual partners, the families, the churches, corporate organizations, and even our international partners for the support. We really appreciate that because that has caused us to be where we are today. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate for you for speaking to me.
Thank you so much, James.
Asante.
Okay.